Welcome back to Banner TV, your bi-weekly news update on everything UNCA. I'm Lillie Boudreaux, and these are your headlines. COVID cases are holding steady despite an increase in testing from random surveillance on campus. In the past 2 weeks, only 6 new cases have been reported, bringing the total to 51 since the beginning of the semester. Vaccine eligibility widened last week as Governor Cooper moved to Phase 3 after the approval of the single-dose shot by Johnson & Johnson. Childcare and all frontline essential workers, such as those in manufacturing, education, and food distribution, are now eligible. If you fall under any of these criteria, check out myspot.nc.gov to find a local provider. UNCA's student government elections took place last week, setting the stage for an administration focused on BIPOC equity, improved education, and a better sense of community on campus. The results of the election are as follows. Demon Thomas and Ariel Jacobson will lead as president and vice president. Dhruvi Pamar will serve as senior senator, Kaya Dale and Sam Shepard as junior senators, and Jillian Javanis and Addison Wright as sophomore senators. Heather Russo will work as a residential senator, and President London Newton will continue her work on SGA as the commuter senator. Congratulations to all candidates for their impressive campaigns, and a special congratulations to the winners, who will be working tirelessly to continue improving our campus community. Local nonprofit animal rescue Esther Neonatal Kitten Alliance has opened Asheville's first kitten-focused newborn nursery. The alliance will be providing around-the-clock care to kittens that need it most. The newborn nursery focuses on orphan kittens that are the sickest, youngest, or most injured of their litter. These vulnerable kittens will have access to tube feeding, incubators, supplemental oxygen, and anything else necessary to make sure they make it to the point of independence at 6 to 7 weeks. If you'd like to donate to the cause or volunteer at the nursery or foster one of these adorable kitties, head over to kittenalliance.org.
Hayden Robinson explains the events surrounding the Texas power outage and its representation of America's failing power grid.
This led to all non-winterized electric equipment in Texas to fail, leading to 4.9 million people being without power, except for El Paso. We should probably talk about this, like how did this happen? What led to this happening? Why did this happen? Why didn't they get El Paso? Once answered, we'll move on to discuss how the same thing can actually happen to the entire country. I'm sorry?
Now Chance Courtney gives us an update on international news.
I'm Chance Courtney, and this is international news in a minute or less. Well, kinda. The British government has announced that every adult in the UK will be offered the COVID-19 vaccine by late July, and already 1/3 of the population has already been vaccinated. But the vaccine isn't the only thing in the UK that's moving fast. Prime Minister Boris Johnson has reportedly started exercising and fasting in an attempt to take his health seriously. And just like that, fasting is the most unpopular fad diet in the world. Over the weekend, U.S. Congress passed a near $2 trillion COVID-19 relief bill, including $20 billion in COVID-19 vaccination, $1,400 stimulus checks for people making up to $75,000 a year, and for couples making up to $150,000 a year, $350 billion in support of state, local, and tribal governments, and a gradual federal minimum wage increase to $15 per hour by the year 2025. One thing that this bill does not explicitly include this time is tax breaks for monster truck owners and provisions for anti-doping in marble racing. Pope Francis plans to make a historic trip to Iraq on March 5th, where he will be greeted at the presidential palace and later by Christian leaders. He will also meet with influential Muslim leader Grand Ayatollah Ali al-Sistani, where they will discuss the rise in violence and the loss of faith in the area. And lastly, we finally have light at the end of the tunnel. Rapper, icon, superstar Bobby Shmurda has finally been released from prison after serving 6 years. Many expect him to announce his 2024 presidential candidacy in the coming days.
Chandler Bassinger takes an inside look at a COVID-safe activity at Asheville's Folk Arts Center.
The show where we find local activities, sites, and pastimes safe enough to visit during a global pandemic. This week, we're highlighting Asheville's very own Folk Arts Center on milepost 382 of the Blue Ridge Parkway. The Folk Arts Center has long given citizens of Asheville and the surrounding area a place to come and learn about the arts, crafts, and traditions of the people indigenous to Southern Appalachia. With infographics displayed on almost every wall, the opportunity to learn about everything from parkway geography, construction, preservation of Southern Appalachian culture, and the socioeconomic impact the parkway had is as easy as taking a walk around the facility.
Artist John Paul Worley explains the destruction of Appalachian culture in an interview with Xavier Hooper.
John Paul Worley. I am a cultural organizer, minister, and magician from Morristown, Tennessee. I'm 42 years old, and I've been on this mystical quest to find my culture because it was taken away from me as an Appalachian. My family lost their land back in '38, and I lost any connection to that culture. So I grew up in two places, down in a river bottom in a mater field with my papa, who was a traveling Baptist, missionary Baptist road minister. And then I spent the time with my family, my mom and dad, in the projects in the ghettos of Appalachia, and what's left of Appalachia anyway, because that carcass got desecrated by all the factories during World War II and on up until they pulled out and went to Mexico in the 80s. And what was left was a Purdue Pharma social experiment.
Full stories can be found on thebluebanner.net, or you can look for our print newspaper around campus. Stay updated by following us on Instagram at UNCA Blue Banner, and subscribe to our YouTube channel and turn on post notifications for new videos. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm Lillie Boudreaux, and this has been Banner TV.